guys, welcome back to another forecast and projections. This is for our last full Mercury retrograde of the year. We'll have another one that will start right around Christmas time. That'll get us going for 2023. But this is the last full one here. So this is going to start from September 9th until October 1st. So this is the second time I've seen different dates. I saw September 3rd until right after Rosh Hashanah. So, just be mindful of that. It could change again. This will be taking place when the moon is in its first quarter, so half of the moon. So this will be in Sagittarius. So I'm just going to go by what I feel is right. The greatest need is to always search for something. In order to feel safe, you may find yourself that you need to have a goal, mission, philosophy that gives you life meaning. I know for myself and a few others that I'm close with, one in particular that we're both faithful. Me and her, if we're not busy, we're in our head. We're busy in our head, and it's just like, we got to take a breath. Because like I even noticed today, I can't remember what the heck I was thinking about, and I felt like I was going to have a panic attack. And I'm just like, what are you doing to yourself? You're wasting your energy. With the moon in Sagittarius, you have an optimistic approach to life, and you believe that things will get better even if you get into trouble. I definitely feel like, how did I get here? I feel like there's a lesson there. How did I get myself into this situation? Sometimes, life throws you lemons. People will throw lemons at you, and you just pick them up and make lemonade. Definitely losing Shane is the one thing they were showing me in that. And it's like, either I could sit there and be in that energy. The best thing I ever did for myself was be like, you know what? This journey isn't just about you. You're affecting your kids now. Wake up, dummy. It's not just you. So I can either do my very best every single day to give these kids the life that they deserve, or I could sit there and let this take me out, and not only take me out, but take my kids out. When you grow up in an environment that's toxic, you create toxic energy that others will absorb. It's so funny. I'm sitting there filming this, and it's like, I don't drink. I'm having an adult beverage. I'm already feeling a little, off of a little bit, but still. But it's like the first thing they're talking about, your liver. Scrotum, thigh bone, tailbone, hip muscle, hip joint, lumbar, vertebrae, lumbar muscles. So be careful how you're straining your body. One thing they definitely said, with our new moon was to care about ourselves more. I feel like with liver, I feel like, watch what you're consuming. I definitely know with myself as I've gotten older, one thing they never tell you is if you eat late and then sleep on it, your body is working. Your body's supposed to be healing at that time. But now your body is working while you're sleeping. Like, yes, it still works, but you get what I mean? Like, that's the time for it to rejuvenate and to relax. So if you're eating late, your body is burning off everything you've eaten, everything you've drinking. So if you're drinking beer, it has to turn that starch into sugar. That sugar turns into fat, right? So it's like, gotta watch how much we're overworking our body, I feel like with, back, lumbar, and everything, I feel like maybe you strained yourself. Maybe you're doing wood or something like that. Some people burn wood for their furnace. I feel like stretching is what one thing they were showing. And I definitely felt that today. I could feel that my hips were pretty tight today. We were walking, and I could just, like the first round, I could feel how tight my hips were. I should have stretched. But I didn't realize it until I was just like, ooh. I've never had that sensation before. But I'm just like, okay, I need to loosen up a little bit more before I walk, so maybe that's one thing. And they always say that, don't they? Before you shovel, before you do anything in exertion, gardening, anything, you should stretch. We all like, yeah, wait until you're walking like a tin man. Yeah. That's exactly how I felt. Like I was walking like a tin man, like just swinging back and forth as I walked. It was so weird. I've never had that sensation before. These organs are now more sensitive, so provide them with extra care. So, sit there, maybe put some lemon in your water. You know what I mean? Just take extra care of yourself. So, we're going to start with our channeled ruins. So, I'll go with the Viking runes first because this was one that stood out first. So, Pethro, so this is destiny. The gambler's rune and such represents the cup of dice of fortune or fortune. It indicates the influence in life can be down to a chance and so can go either way or not. The lesson here is to learn and to take your hand what you've been dealt and make lemonade out of lemons. So exactly where they're showing being, getting heckled and lemons being thrown at you. And tarot, this could be similar to the Wheel of Fortune card. So stuck situation moving forward. We've been talking. This has been like one of the main messages we were told since January 24th. If you're new to the channel, please go back to that daily tarot card. It was for Throne Thursday, January 24th. They said that week was going to be the theme for the rest of the year. So one of the things was like destiny, and we've definitely, that word has been really standing out. And I feel like, what was your purpose of you coming here? Sometimes we feel like we already know what that is, and then something else comes into life, and it throws you a curveball, and you're just like, oh, maybe it's multiple things. Maybe you were here, like, you know what I mean? Like, some people are born to be healers because, like, Deborah Silverman said it the best. We don't need more famous people. We don't need more, influencers and this and that. We need healers. We need kind souls that are going to lift up the vibration of the earth. Like, she was naming all these different things. I wish I would have wrote it down, but she was like, let's all get into that. Let's get back to us. Like, it can also represent hidden messages, secrets, and change, symbolizing the womb. This is so crazy. When you guys hear the freaking channel messages, like, okay, so fate, mystery, feminine fertility, chance, fortune, mysticism, unknown. And sometimes that's what we go to healers, even myself, like, this unknown, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to know so far that in advance it gives me anxiety. I'm a little more open to it now because, like, anyone that has gone through a profound loss, especially like a partner, it's like you don't sit there and want to know so far ahead because it makes you anxious. You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes get in my head and think about, oh, when the boys are done school, what'll happen then? And it's just like, that's like, one's 4 years, one's, 6 years. And it's just like, I know that sounds like a lot of time now, but even now, just saying out loud, it's been 5.5 years since Shane's passing, and how long we've been like trying to rebuild, and we are rebuilding, is hard to even fathom. When I remember where that broken person, you know what I mean, where it felt like a piece of my soul was missing after the police officer came to the house and told me. Like, I literally fell back into the screen door when he told me. So it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, to sit there and be like, here we are standing, fighting forward, getting back to who I was, and to a sense of like that warrior in me where it's just like, I ain't afraid to get my hands dirty. I ain't the one, that some people chose to mess with the wrong one, you know? Any warrior will know that. This is a chance for you to get back to who you are, back to the warrior that you are. The universe is like, we don't like this the way this is going. Nope. And they step in, they intervene. So this is our second channeled Viking rune. This is Algaz, so elk. So this really ties into the channel messages, and when I read it, it'll make sense. So, and if this doesn't resonate with you, if you're not into Viking runes or anything like that, that's totally fine. Everything is time stamped, so you can sit there and just click forward into where you want to go to, or you can come back to it. Maybe you're just like, what, I just want to listen to the cards for now. I'll come back and listen to you don't have to listen to it all at once. I tried to make these videos shorter, and it just takes away from my flow and my energy, and it just, you know what I mean? It's just, that's why the timestamps are there. Whatever resonates with you, listen to those. If the whole thing resonates with you, you don't have to listen to it all at once. Take your time. So the elk rune also represents defense and protection. So when you write that protection on your wrist, we always write it on our left hand, our receiving hand. I write this on my wrist, a source of a protection. You know what I mean? Like, do I feel like I need protection? I don't feel like so much of the sense of certain things, but it's like keeping me on the right path. Sometimes I need protection from myself, you know? So it's just like where I do things like, like they were saying, like, saying that, you've been spending a little too much in treats. So let's back off with the treats. They were mentioning that last week. So it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Hold off a little bit. I got one last birthday for the year with the family. You know what I mean? And then it's like I'm already starting the Christmas shop. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like take a beat, let the birthdays finish. Or if you see little things that people may like, then that's one thing. But it's like, don't have to go full all bore. You know what I mean? If you get this one, it means that you have the eternal power to manifest your dreams, that your spirit guides are protecting you along your path. So sometimes if you're a type of person that meditates, or if could pull cards, or you do readings yourself, that you get weak after doing so many things. Like when I would do a live, like it would totally, I would feel it so much in my back. Everyone's like, oh, it's the way you sit. I know who I am. I know what it happens to me when I do personal readings. I'll sleep in and I'm like, damn, I slept in a lot. And that's like, dummy, you did a reading too. It's like, oh, like I forget, like, like you got to replenish your energy. You got to call back your energy. You got to sit there and recharge. It is said to act as a shield to guide you against evil. It can also represent an awakening and strong intuition, protection, guardian, awakening, courage, defense, instincts. Like, I know with a certain situation, they were like, do you not realize that everything that was put in your path for you right after, like, everything that happened with Shane, it's like, do you not realize we put all that in your path? And I do realize that. It's just like when I'm sitting there, it's like never fight for anything, never chase for anything. If it's meant to be my path, like, I could say that. But when I go to situations like the matters of the heart, it's just like, let it, that's one thing I gotta remind myself is like, if it was meant to be my path, it would be. You know what I mean? So it's just like everything that they have blessed us with and continue to bless us with. It's like if that was supposed to be a part right now, or that's supposed to be a part period, it would be. So I have to stop wasting my energy on it. It's hard not to, because I am a lover. I am definitely a sucker for love. I am definitely that, Snow White, Prince Charming, happily ever after. I say Snow White because she's my favorite Disney princess, but it's like, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, So it's just like, get out of your head and put your energy into something positive rather than, you know what I mean? And I, like I said in the beginning, I'm the type of person that gets in my head. So I got to sit there and preoccupy myself. Went walking. We went and saw the hawks. We were like, remember last year? I said, weren't they teaching them how to fly by this time? So they're a little late. It's like, you know what I mean? That's why I definitely feel like it's Indian summer. I think everything is delayed. So how is that going to play out? We'll see. Like, it's literally going to be 30 next week. So these are the runes that stood out to me. These ones were, the first two were channeled. So these are the ones that stood out. So Ethwaz. Ew. Sounds like ew. So this is the ash tree. So knowledge. Sometimes said to be the translation from the old world for Yao, needle ash, representative of the tree of life. As such, it relates to the circle of life, similar to the death. Oh my gosh. I kid you not. Wow. The channel messages and this are really, wow. Okay. Signifying the dying of an old way of being or a period of life. It can also represent divine protection, wisdom, enlightenment, and a sense of purpose. I feel like that's what destiny is. I'm like, your sense of purpose. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sometimes we feel like, we feel like our purpose in life is to be a parent. And any good parent thinks that they're failing their kids. That's because you care, and you care a lot. Even you don't see all of the wonderful things you do for your children, and even in this like small little minor moment of weakness, because things are turning out the way that we thought they would, or they're suffering, they're going through something, we feel like we failed them. And it's like, we're not. This is a part of life, unfortunately. From pain comes wisdom. From that negative energy, we could crush it up and turn it into wisdom to experience and use it forward as we move forward and grow from it. Hopefully we don't have to repeat it over and over and over again. Symbolizing the connection between all the worlds. Connection, inspiration, endurance, sacred knowledge. So they're showing they're really going into the energy oracle cards. I have so many cards pulled already though. Ugh. Might have to pull it down. But it's like this is the second card from it. But they're saying like the Asaki records, ancient wisdom. You know what I mean? This is where you go beyond. Just like as healers, we think we know things, but it's like there's another level to it. Going higher than we already are. You know what I mean? And when you're ready for it, we'll know it. Protection, life cycles, divinity. So I feel like I'm going to put that symbol on my wrist just because protection keeps coming up. I just feel like because I feel like we're purging, and I definitely am like physically purging in the way of like things that we don't need in the house no more. Like, everyone knows I used to babysit. So that, from lockdown has closed that chapter. So donate it, paying it forward. It's like, the play kitchen, everything. My next door neighbor has a small little daughter, and I told her I would give her those things. I gave her all the things that went with it. I still have to give her the rest of the play food, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, even though that chapter is closed for me, I could turn it to something beautiful by giving most of that stuff to her. Giving it to the local food bank where they could sit there and sell it to a parent for like $2, and it makes their children happy. You know what I mean? So it's like, my sister took her son, I almost said her nephew, but took her son to an area that they know that is low income, and he pulled out all the toys he wanted to donate, and he was playing with the kids with them, and they were like, "Oh, I really like your toys," and he's like, "Take them." He gave them all to the kids. He's just like, "You like them? Take them." I thought that was amazing of him. I thought that was amazing of her for even thinking of that, because I'm just like, like she said, like sometimes parents have to make that decision. Even now, even if you're not low income, you could be middle class, whatever it is. It's like you have to sit there and be like, sorry, we can't buy that because we got to pay the mortgage. Sorry, I can't pay that. I got to pay the rent. You know what I mean? It's not that we want to make those choices. It's just like that's what the world has pushed us to. So it's just like, making those decisions. It's not easy decisions, but it's like, it's the decisions we got to make at that time. So, I thought that was amazing of her, but that's what I mean, paying it forward. And I feel like that is the biggest gift that your children could take forward in the future. Maybe they donate their stuff, you know what I mean? Have swap meets. It's just like, hey, this is all the stuff I have up for grabs. If you want it, take it. You know what I mean? So it's just like all these different things that we can do. Just, whatever was old to you is new to someone else. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's just to see a kid happy. That is the biggest gift for me. They're showing like with like making things old that are new again. They were talking about like maybe doing a deep cleaning in your house. Maybe you're the type of person that like wipes down your breaker boards or anything like that, or the baseboards. Like because the summertime, everyone's in and out. Dust is kicking up. The indoors are coming, and the outdoors are coming into the indoors. So they're showing like maybe you're doing a deep cleaning. You're doing a refresh of the house. Maybe like during the summertime, you're outside all the time, or it's just too dang hot, and it's harder to get that kind of work done. So it's just like sitting there and giving your house a little TLC. There's nothing wrong with that. They call it spring break. Sometimes you do like, a winter, refresh there. So the last Viking rune is Twiaz, so victory. So Twiaz is representative of the warrior's arrowhead and the god of Tri. It shows that you are capable of spearheading your way through all of your troubles and possess great leadership skills, authority, and rationality. So go back to the new moon And we were talking about, like, we think about they're showing Sagittarius. What is the sign for the Sagittarius? Is the bow and arrow, or the bow particularly, right? It's like sometimes we get pulled so far back, and then the universe springs us forward. Leadership skills, you know, they said leading alongside people rather than talking down to them. You know, only sit there and help the ones that want to be helped, though. You know, I was just recently in a situation. They asked for help. I said no problem. Didn't show up. I'm just like, I'm not gonna hold it against them, but it's just like, I won't do that again though. It's just like, my day off, and I'm taking time out of my day off to help you out, so you can, spring forward and be the best for it, be the best you can be, but you can only help the ones that want to be helped. It can indicate victory and knowing of your true strengths and the willingness to self-sacrifice, and I definitely feel like a lot of us self-sacrifice. Queen of Cups, King of Cups, the Emperor, the Empress, that is part of them. That's what makes them up. If you get a tarot reading and you get a lot of Queen of Cups, or you get a lot of Queens, you get a lot of Kings, because all those come together to those combination of elements, as Deborah Silverman would put it, comes together to make that you the Emperor or the Empress or both. Sometimes we gotta wear, like you see with the Emperor, he has his cloak up, and you could still see, like, just because I'm some old guy that sits on a throne, he's showing his armor, his knight's armor. It's like, I will still boot you in the head. Like, you know what I mean? It's just sometimes you got to wear many hats. Leadership, rationality, victory, honor, bravery, courage, strength, perseverance, endurance. Maybe this is, the universe's way of saying, hey, there's a lot more to you than you think. Maybe right now you're not battling. Doesn't mean you're a pushover. Just means right now you're resting. You're rest and rejuvenation. The yin and yang of life. Sometimes we got to battle. Sometimes we get to rest. Enjoy your rest time. So we're going to get into the channel messages. It's a lot. Like, the last one was just like, like I told you guys, I was transparent. It's hotter. It was hot that day. It was hard to sit there and turn the fan off, but it's like I got to get this done. I feel like I'm not doing my full potential when I don't do it. Just put them in order here. So they're talking about regrets made, solved. Things coming back to you. Isn't that what, the definition of kind of retrograde is? Sometimes in that time, it's not all about like, ooh, the planets are in alignment, or things are going backwards, oh, doom and gloom. It's not all about that. It's sometimes maybe we miss something along the cycle, and it's a chance for us to learn it so we don't have to do it again. You know what I mean? That's where they talk about things coming back, and things coming back around or going in reverse. So karma, karmic debt paid off. So sometimes we can tell from this life things that we've done that we wish we could take back. Even if they're not huge things. It's just like, maybe I should have articulated better. Maybe I should have rebutted. It didn't come out the way it should that I meant. Sometimes our insecurities bring out the worst in us, and it's just like your brain is telling your mouth to shut up, but it just verbal diarrhea. It's just they're saying moment of weaknesses, but I'm sure if we can right all the wrongs that we have done, it's like we wouldn't be who we are today. And that's not an excuse. It's just if we have that opportunity to apologize, to sit there and say we're sorry and we regret what we did, and if we could go back, we could change things. Definitely take that opportunity. So they said loss, and they were talking about weight. So I feel like this could be in a way of like, literally the death card as a channel card here. And they talk about dead weight. So this is kind of like a channel message, you know, channeled cards kind of, because the channel cards came out, and I'm sure like they're coming out as even as I was doing the Viking Runes, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's a combination here where, because it's like they were showing these cards particularly when I was doing the channel messages. So I was like, okay, I gotta pull them out, because I feel like a lot of people, especially if you're not too familiar with tarot, it's like, you know, what is that card, right? So when you actually show what it is, it makes more sense. So with the death card, you know, we particularly zodiac sign Scorpio. Okay, so you could be a Scorpio working on major change and transformation, or in a sense that you're sitting there and taking things like, you know, when they talk about losing weight, maybe you're gonna start going to the gym more in the fall. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe you change the way you're dieting. Maybe you figured out something that works with your body better, you know? So try to figure that out. You know what I mean? We're always learning. You're never too old or too young to learn. You know? So I feel like in that way, I definitely feel like in that way, working on ourselves. Change and transformation. They were talking about loving ourselves. So I feel like in that sense, you know, that like they're saying, this is a new beginning. You know, sometimes we need a little more knowledge to push ourselves forward in that way. So I feel like in that way, working on change and transformation. So universe is telling us not to hold back, and they again change. So, you know, coming out of the death card here. So they're showing two wave symbols. So like for me, that's usually like Billabong, a skater brand I have. I gave the shirts to my kids. But they're saying, like, you know, when we think about zodiac sign Aquarius, that is their sign, is the waves. So I feel like higher levels of thinking, wiser person. So, you know, we were talking about with the Viking runes, this is where I'm saying, wow, a lot of this is really going with the channel messages, where they're talking about, you know, are we going as far as the Asaki records to sit there and go into that next level of things? Or is this just like, you know, where they talk about harnessing our craft or learning our craft on a different level? You know, like I really got into Viking runes, witches runes, palm reading, the ancient Chinese oracle. Palm reading is something I want to get into. Like, you know, I have a book that I want to read. So it's just like, you know what I mean? How can we better ourselves? How can we move forward? You know what I mean? We're never, like I said, we're always expanding. We're always growing. So moving on without regrets. Debt paid off in full with no harm to none. I don't know if this is someone doing this for you, or some sort of windfall comes around with this. But I feel like someone is including you in a will. I don't know if someone's getting their estate and affairs in check, or if they already done that and they're changing it. I have no idea. But that's what they were showing me. Someone's sitting there and putting you into a will. So more positive change. Things come full circle. Promises kept. So they put kept. First they said keep. So maybe you're making a promise. So it's like watching what you're saying, you know? Remember we're talking about how we regret certain things? So it's like with me, I always say I will do my very best, you know, in my power to sit there and make sure this happens. I don't promise anything, especially when I'm not in control of the situation. But even when you're in control, we know this can go wrong. So it's just like sitting there and being like, okay, you know what? I will sit there and hold true to my word. You know, if everything goes our way, then yes, definitely. And if it, you know, a little blips or blops, hopefully we'll still be able to make it happen. So they're showing a baby being in like a swaddle. And there's a baby, and I feel like rebirth for some of us, but some of you, maybe there's a baby on the way. So one of the channel images I got towards with the channel messages was dominoes falling. They're like saying things fall into place, and that's what I felt. I felt like a positive with this, but researching it got a little dark, and I'm just like, okay. So they're saying like falling at health, which is kind of crazy to me. For me, I feel like we put all of our hard work into the, you know, it's because it's this elaborate, you know, dominoes setup, right? And when you push the one, it's like everything just, you know, you hopefully falls. There was no stopping it. There was no hiccups. Not one didn't fall over or anything. I just feel like everything's falling into place. But, you know, They're getting. I'm just gonna pause it for 1 sec. So this is what I agree with. Taking calculated risk. You could solve a puzzle, considering the big picture, and count the various opportunities at their costs and the future endeavors. Go for the worthwhile endeavors. Proper strategy and increase your odds of winning in life. That's what I felt. I felt positive. I didn't feel this like, where they're going with this doom and gloom message. I'm just like, ooh, that was just a little much. Um, so they were showing. I don't know if someone's buying like a beach property, or you're buying a home, or renting a home, or like a vacation home, something like that, investment property. But you were able to look out one window, and the view was like a paved way to go down to the shore, like to the water line or whatnot. But you're not so close that you would take on water, but it's like a beautiful view. So, if you're looking for things, they're showing a view of the water, and again with the waves. So you know what I mean? Like they're saying like our higher levels of thinking, but going back to the new moon forecast, when they were showing, I literally read for someone this week, a male gentleman, and it was just like the Ace of Cups, but there was no cup. There were more about the water, and I was just like very somber, like a foggy day, where it's like it's a little cool, but not like so cold that you're like ugh, brr. It's just comfortable. You know what I mean? But it's just like when it's a foggy day, it's just like they're showing me like I remember like going to field hockey practice, and the fog would just be so far down you couldn't see ahead of you. So with the window, sometimes we gotta break up these imageries that we see. So they're saying that this could be like you opening up to the unknown, spiritual realms, higher dimensions, connection with divine. So we're definitely getting that a lot. I feel like it's like you're looking out into your future, and it's somewhere you want to be. You know what I mean? Because like for myself in particular, it's like if I had a place that was by the water and you had like a view, like for myself it would be like a view of the Miramichi River. You know what I mean? Like far enough away that I don't have to worry about my property taking on water, but with a nice enough view to enjoy. I've always been drawn to the water. I'm a water baby, definitely. So I looked up shoreline. Emotional needs are satisfied, and any inner turmoil has been resolved. Okay, we'll go with that. Better than what I was looking up earlier. So then they were showing a red car. It looks like a Honda Civic or something like that. Um, I'm not sure if it was a 4-door, but they were definitely showing a red Honda Civic. I'm not sure if it's a Honda Civic, but that's what it looks like. So with this, they're saying that it signifies you're very passionate about some goals you desire to achieve. It's a sign of passion. So they're saying that could also represent love, attention, energetic personality, and again associated with passion. So with this car, like after they said on to your next adventure, they said fortune. I'm not sure if this is someone that's like I don't feel like it's like a big time or anything like that. Maybe it's $100,000 or something like that. That definitely can change your life, but I don't know if it'll be millions. But I feel like some sort of something there. Things fall into place. So then they were showing me like the old Christmas bulbs, like you would string the trees with the big bulbs. So they were showing with the green, the forest green, because everyone used to have green trees there, so you couldn't really see it. But it's like the thick green wire that would to do the lights. So that's what they're showing, like outdoor lights. It would be like what is exactly what they're saying. So people would use this more for outdoors now, because trees are pre lit now most of the time, unless you get a real tree. So with the Christmas light, they're saying relates to things that you do to make others happy. So definitely, You know, thinking about like, you know, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, you know, definitely something that, you know, we that makes us up, you know, those combination elements that make, you know, who we are. So in this meaning, this is a more of a spiritual meaning. So the lights and candles, many made the beautiful lights of every holiday season remind us of Him, who was the source of all light. So again, going to a more spiritual meaning, Christmas lights can remind us of Jesus Christ is the light of the world. They can also remind us to be the light to others and to help others come in onto Christ. So, you know, more of a spiritual push. But I feel like being the light onto others, I liked. Sometimes people are in those in their head or they're going through things and it's like being a light to others. So they're saying Christmas is one to remember. I love that. Good times come to those who wait. Promises, and then this is where the will came up. Time. So they're showing a clock. So again, with energy oracle cards, they're showing the clock, and when they kind of pan out, when they sit there and they zoom on something, sometimes they'll pan out when they show me an image, and it's the patience card. So they're showing this beautiful entity. You know, it's a white, like it looks like maybe spirit of some sort, a feminine spirit, and she's holding the clock, and it's in the stillness of winter. So you know they're talking about patience. You know, so that's what they were showing. Time to move on. November, they're showing the 28th, 29th, and 30th. So if you have anything that's around that, maybe mark your calendar for that. So then they're showing a church bell. A lot of different things. So church bell to me, I feel like when they're ringing, calling our attention, a clairaudience. But I feel like, you know, when I love hearing church bells, maybe it's just me, but we have a really nice church up the road from us, and you know, hopefully it's ringing for a positive reason, but I love hearing them. So symbolizing a new fresh beginning in your life makes sense with all the imagery that they've been showing us. And then they were showing that a bunch of doves were being released, so this could be someone's wedding. You know what I mean? And a bunch of couldn't count how many doves it was, but it's like you're free. You know what I mean? When they're talking about like karmic debt and everything, you know, from earlier. Doves fly away. So then they were showing the number 6 and then the number 68. So definitely go look into my energy oracle cards and see what that would be. But I'm going to look at the meaning of the doves. So great positive light, promises fulfilled. What do we keep getting? Promises, promises, promises. That you will soon have soaring spirits. That's nice. Happiness, diverting a crisis. So they had mentioned this with the cards. I'm not sure if it came out in the new moon or if this was a weekly forecast, but they're showing the tower and they're putting like a line through it, like you know when you put in like no smoking, so kind of like that. No more. Did the right thing. So like they're showing like self-sacrifice here. Gave up on a dream that wasn't working, wouldn't work out. You end up suffering in the end. Selfless. Queen of Cups, and here's where the Queen of Cups comes in. So the Queen of Cups, you know, it's the person that's always filling others. You know, if we go to the Divine Oracle card or the Divine Moon cards, I believe that's what Decadent Moon. You see the images of a full moon filling the person's cup. Sorry, my dog's choking. Every time I film, without fail, he does that. So, you know, with the Queen of Cups, it's just like you know, they're saying that you're, like they were saying earlier, selfless. So they're actually showed the Fool after this, so a brand new beginning. So the Fool, leave behind all fear, worry, and doubt, the white dog, the purity of the situation, that childlike enthusiasm, you know, just because, you know, we're excited for it, but we're also fearful, like, you know, like when we start a new job or start school, it's like we're excited to meet new people. We're excited for this adventure. At this same time, it's like, will they like me? Will my coworkers like me? Will I like them? You know what I mean? Will I make it through probation? So, you know what I mean? It's an exciting time of the unknown. So they showed winter, and it was actually the Viking rune here that they were showing here. So they're saying winter. And then there's like crosshairs, and they were showing a buck. So, I don't know, hunting season, maybe I'll get a buck. Maybe that's the meaning of that, but it's like, they were showing a buck here. So, generally, is a sign of good luck. They represent beauty, grace, innocence, good fortune, big success, good news, and the spiritual aspects of your life. So, love that. But, like, I don't feel like we're hunting. I don't, nope. Like, I've never, I thought I would want to be a hunter until I saw people do that, and I'm just like, I felt sick to my stomach. I felt like a knot in my gut, and I'm just like, nope, not for me. I would not eat of it, nothing. I'd rather just be ignorant and not know nothing. I know that sounds really stupid to some, but it's just like, I know it's like, if you want to survive and you need protein, that's one thing. But I just like, if I don't have to, no thank you. So they said prize. New Year's is going to be great. Um, and I promise you this is the last page of it. So spoiler alert. They're saying catching something, mate. So they're showing like hook, line, and sinker. Like they say, oh, plenty of fish in the sea. Like, I feel like you've been trying to catch a mate, catch someone. You know what I mean? So hook, line, and sinker is what they're saying. Not much thought. I feel like it's just like, feel like it just happens. Not who you thought. Promise. So here we go again with promise. Promise me to be true. This one keeper. And then they were saying like sissy that walk. So they're saying like people are gonna be chatting. You know what I mean? They're like, if unless them B words pay your bills, don't pay them no mind. So I feel like, in the sense that people are going to be gossiping about this, but no one can gossip if nobody knows. You know what I mean? Keep your stuff off of social media. You know how many times you see this? Oh, this, that, and the other about my partner, and blah, 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 blah. And 2 minutes later, or it's like, 2 days later, it's like, happy anniversary, babe. Love you much. Nah, 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 nah. It's like, like, really? Or, oh, someone hacked my phone. I'm like, really? Like, did they really, though? So now we're going to start with our channeled witch's rune. So this is the only channeled one. And before I get into the meaning of this one, which is the star, if you don't want to miss any daily tarot cards or forecasts and projections, please hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell, comment, what's your favorite part of these videos, what's your least favorite part, take it under consideration what to keep doing, what to take out, but that's what the timestamps are for. So with the channeled witch's rune, the star, go after what you want. Your life purpose looks to the rune closest to the star for clues. So we have these wave ones, so we'll go into that next. So that's flight. Inspiration for others. Being yourself. Being accepted for you. Freedom. Isn't that the biggest thing? Being accepted for who you are. I think that's the biggest blunder in any relationship, is not being accepted for who you are. So our next word is flight, movement, communication, and information. Travel of all kinds. So they're showing like, seeing like, looking out and you're seeing the ocean. I was literally talking to my girlfriend last night, and she was talking like her and her girlfriends and her besties all went out to karaoke, and we were talking about going to Newfoundland and seeing the whales and stuff. So, that's something to look forward to. Will it happen? Who knows? Let's see what the future holds. So our last witch's rune is rings. So, we saw church bells, we saw doves being released, we were definitely talking about, some sort of love connection, when we're talking about catching a fish, maybe a water sign. So circumstances that connect people, combining different elements to create something new. So combining your element with, a water sign maybe, because they were showing the fish. But, they're saying catch and release. That's one of my favorite movies. I'm the type of person that will watch the living bejesus out of movies. Like, honestly, I see my favorite movie on. Bridget Jones' Diary, Me Before You, all these like different movies. I will, you got mail. I will sit there and it comes. Forrest Gump I just watched recently. Shawshank Redemption. My son is watching the living nonsense out of that. He loves that movie. We'll sit there and watch it over and over again. It's just we love those kind of movies. So we're gonna get into our cards. So we're gonna have some oracle cards in this spread. And if you guys are interested in a private reading, all the details are in the description box. It's based on first come, first serve. So with our oracle cards, we have counselor. So, being of our higher self, you see the angel. When we talk about channel messages and channel images, I always give that up to God. I don't take credit for none of that. You are a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. This is like Queen of Cups. This is who you are. You're a giver. So indigo children. You have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. Yeah, maybe they're a little more sensitive because they just need a little more TLC. They just need a little bit more care and attention. Sometimes that's all you need. All these material things don't mean nothing at the end of the day. So life review, got the death card. They were talking about lifting a weight. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. Getting a lot of Libra energy here, definitely, with balance. So I prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So, we are getting back into regular schedule programming, as they would say. Parents are going back to full time to work. Some of them are taking holidays over the summer to be with the kids, going on vacations, making the most of it, and kids are back to school. So it's just like, some days we feel like there's not enough hours in the day, and I feel like this is a positive omen to sit there and say, you know what, I definitely felt that, you know what I mean? Getting back into the swing of things, I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to balance this on top of everything else? And it's like, you're able to find it. You're able to find that flow. You don't understand it at the time, but it just falls into place. The fact you're worried about it just tells you that that's something you'll put as a priority. So career transition. Your life purpose is triggered a blessed career change. I feel like this is more accolades than anything. I feel like maybe even an offer for promotion. And I mean in the way of like position of who you are. But like, we were talking about that before. If you feel like you're able to add something and you have enough experience and knowledge, then yeah, absolutely. But I feel like for some of us, I feel like this is what we were destined to be. I don't feel like it's necessarily in the job you're in. When I say that, it's like, many of us work a full-time gig to pay the bills, to make sure that income is always coming in, to help us push forward the other agenda. And I feel like that other agenda is going to get pushed forward. So these came in after I had, I've already done my channel cards. So these were coming in afterwards. So, it definitely is a channeled run here. But they're like focus on service. Definitely touching in what we were. Law of attraction. So like, asking for what we want. And it will come into us. Cupid. Definitely in the channel messages. And listen. I definitely feel like meditation. We sit there and we, pray or whatever thing that you do that resonates. And I feel like we don't listen enough. Praying is us having a conversation with God, or manifestations. And then when we listen, Judge Judy says, we talk too much, quiet yourself and you'll be able to hear more. I feel like that's what they're going in about. So reward yourself, and definitely watch how much you reward yourself, but reward yourself. So you've been given a lot of yourself lately. So Queen of Cups, it's time for you to receive and make a time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essentially to keep your energy and motivation at a high level, a constantly high level. I'm not sure if that's oh, it's a Kong. So again, with the clairaudience. Ask. Here we go. Having a conversation. Manifestations. Ask us to help you in this situation and ultimately go to work on your behalf. Governed by many universe laws, among them is the free will that allows you to make your own choices and decisions. Free will. So we patiently await your request. I sometimes feel guilty, you know, going back to surrogacy. I was just like, I just had this huge blessing in my life. How dare I ask for something else? You know? So I definitely feel like, sometimes we got to do it's like laid all out there. Whatever happens, happens. We all know when we really want something, we put all of our energy to make it sure that it happens. So, entrepreneur, I almost butchered that. So, this is definitely going into self-employment, lighting a fire, so passing on the torch. You know, we're climbing this mountain. Self-employed suits your disposition and situation. Working for yourself allows you to better your knowledge, your intuition, and divine guidance. We are co-workers and teammates who remain loyal at your side to assure your success is in all your success in all ways. Should be succeed, but your success in all ways. Um, I feel like because this is like your divine career, maybe you're a healer, or it's just like that's exactly like I said. Like they were highlighting someone that I know that does these, like, when you put the welcome sign outside. There's more to it though, because she did a Jack and Jill, and it was just like the picture wasn't close up, so it's like you couldn't really see, like, you could see what it was, but it would have been nice if we had more time to go into all of it, but that's just me. But shower of abundance. So open your hand. It's just gonna flow through your hands. I feel like because as they bless your hands, you will bless others. Maybe this is why they're like, don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't be afraid to ask for that, win or whatever. This, with no harm to none, like we always say, but don't be afraid to ask for it. To heal your financial situation, first give us the worry concerning money. We will guide you in order to show you how to create and accept abundance. As we work together, your financial situation will heal as fast as you allow us. So it's just like, but also having that discipline, like, you know what I mean? It comes in. So like, where can we put it? You know what I mean? Where does it need to go? Being responsible. You know what I mean? Yeah, even though they say that, it's just like, you got to still be responsible, put it where it's supposed to go. It's not sitting there saying, oh, this won't last forever. But, Universe did say in the weekly cards, like, this flow coming in is not going to last forever. So make sure, you know what I mean? You're on the right side of things. Make sure you're doing what you need to be doing. 10 of Cups. There's that happy home, happy couple, happy children. Everything is smooth sailing. You know what I mean? The ultimate unconditional love. You don't have to worry about nothing because everything is in a beautiful place. You're going towards that. Didn't they say a view with the water? That's so crazy. We lived when we first moved here. They had, I guess they took a blade, I guess, and cut down to make sure that, like a trough, I guess they would say you'd call it. I'm not sure, but it's like to make the water run down the property so it goes into the catch basin until it'll eventually run out to the Miramichi River to get the water away from the property. But the way that when the snow was really melting or it would rain, it would really gush down there, like, down that center part between the two properties. And it's like, I would always hear, put me beside still waters. You know what I mean? Like that water element value, So I thought that was beautiful. Leading to the sun, I definitely feel like that 10 of Cups and the sun is definitely a shower of abundance. I feel like that's what you're striving for. That's what you're working for. Like, it's like, don't worry about what they're doing over here. Don't worry about what they're doing over there. Worry about yourself. Keep yourself focused. People are going to sit there and try to swerve you off your path, from where you want to go. And it's just like, you just worry about your path. You keep going forward. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, people are going to try and change you. Don't let them change you. I don't know how many people try to be like, make fun of me and everything. Oh, you do Shabbat every Friday. How boring. You know what? That's fine. You know, that's who I am. Doesn't even matter if we did not end up in the Hebrew faith, you know, in doing Shabbat. It was something we already did. You know, we would sit there, we would do Sunday school and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? It's something that was already a part of us. You know what I mean? It's just this took it to the next level. You know what I mean? So it resonates. If the kids want to do it, they can do it. They don't want to, free will. You know what I mean? I ain't harming nobody. I ain't forcing nobody. I ain't pushing on nobody. Do what resonates with you. You ain't hurt nobody. Pay them no mind. You know? Like the beautiful sunflowers surround this child, the success will surround you. We're getting a lot of words of success here. You know, maybe you're worried you're not going to succeed in something and that you're working on right now. And I feel like this is a positive omen to keep going forward, because you will in fact succeed, because you're putting all of your energy into it. You know, this is why the guardian angels are keep saying protection, because that's when they mean, like when you're feeling, when you're weak, it's because you're focusing on something, so maybe you can't see other things coming. You know what I mean? You know, like they always say that, you know, you don't know how many things we block from coming to your life. You know, so when something comes in, it's like, yeah, can you imagine what else was gonna come in? But we blocked it for you. So I feel like that's what the sun is saying. All your hard work will pay off. So we have the Fool again, brand new beginning. We have no idea what's ahead of us. You know, they talk about Christmas being great, talking about New Year's being great. You know, maybe you're worried about that. You know, it's far ahead. You know, I know a lot of us are planning. You know, because we have a lot of people we want to buy like a little something something for. You know, don't go crazy, don't go ham. I just feel like starting early gives you more leeway, so you're not doing all at once. It's spread out more. You know what I mean? Because when you do the cooking, decorating, you know what I mean, stocking stuffers, whatever have you that you're doing, it's like, yeah, that's already a big enough hit, you know, at that time. But if you're spreading it out, it's like, you know, I sit there, write everybody's name down, and one by one, you know what I mean? I just like, oh, okay, grab this, grab that, you know what I mean? And it's not, you know what I mean? You sit there and grab a one by one, you know, and you spread it out over from now until December, it ain't going to be such a big deal. So we got the Ace of Pentacles. You know, this could be a grounding force for some, but it's like the path is being cleared to you, because these mountains are usually bigger. I'm surprised how small they are in there. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that really resonated with me if you're watching the new season of Below Deck, Mediterranean. And you hear Stormy like, I always wanted to be a bosun. That's what he was working towards. And he's like, I'm excited to climb this mountain, because it's like he wants to see how far he can go, because it's like first officer, captain. It's like there's so many other things, and it's just like that's how you should approach things. I'm excited to climb this mountain, you know, and I feel like that's what the Fool's about. It looks like he's about to climb, like leap off a cliff here, taking a chance. But it's like the universe is like, either will catch you or you'll fly. But it's like you should be excited for this new endeavor or this new chapter, whatever this is. So we have the Four of Wands. So for some of you, you know, they talk about a rough patch being a thing of the past, which is beautiful. Everybody wants to work towards that, you know, being the victor wearing the wreath. I'm just going to zoom up it a little bit more because it's a beautiful card. You know what I mean? And being victorious. The four, you know, we talk about fours. Fours is the pillars of the home. So for some of you, this could be a verbal agreement that turns into a contractual agreement, you know, being victorious in that way. So maybe, you know, leasing new place, buying a new place. For some of you, this is actually an actual engagement. So the promise of marriage, you know, in that way, committed relationship. So a new committed relationship. But, you know, we were talking about celebrations. You know what I mean? They're showing the Three of Cups. So celebrations. You know, we have Thanksgiving. We have, you know, first we have Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you know, but there's also other things to celebrate in life. You know, we have Rosh Hashanah. That was something no, Yom Kippur was the one that stood out, wasn't it? One of the two stood out in the new moon. Both of them take place in the new moon, but it's just like, you know, there's things to be excited about, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what life should be about. Like, yeah, there are things going on, but it's just like, you know what? Take those moments to celebrate and be happy. So we're moving on from something, definitely going back to the channel card of death. You know, so the cycles of the moon here, they're saying the waning crescent. So we are in the waning crescent new moon energy. So from now until the full moon of September. So, you know, we're getting into that full circle moment. So they're saying, You know, are you going to make the decision? Are you, you know, in this, technically the terms are like, if your cups of love are not being filled, then it should be, maybe it's safer for you to go to another shoreline. Moving forward. Very Six of Swords, you know, moving forward.